Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rabbi.
This week's parsha is Parshas Matos Masei. The beginning of the parsha starts off discussing the laws when a person will make a vow to Hashem. So, in short, the idea of making a vow means to say like this: I have a problem with something, and I can't control myself. I'm failing. So in order to protect myself, I'm making a vow, making a promise that I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to have to fulfill a certain obligation. And that will keep me in line that even though I'm challenged with this situation, the fact that I made a promise and I have to live up to it, this is going to keep me going to do what I have to do, or to keep me in line from not doing what I'm not supposed to do. So this is a very important thing that it's usually, we don't do it, but when necessary, when a person needs to fall into that category, we do it. Right? Because they're saying, it's enough what the Torah told us we're not allowed to do. Don't add. But there are such situations that a person has to do that to hold themselves and to keep themselves in line. That's the first nakuda that the Torah is talking about. Then comes the second section, that now, after this story, we go back to a previous story. God spoke to Moshe, Nekoim, go take now revenge of Midian. Who do they send? Who's the guy to run the show on this war? So this is the one that sent out that he should lead the Jewish people is Pinchas. He started. Rashi says he started. You finished. You started with Midian. You already took revenge. You ready to settle the score there. You continue the rest, and there are many other explanations why it was Dafka Pinchas. But this is an interesting thing. Now, the Avodah Zarah, the idol worship that the Midianites were involved in, is something called Pa'ar, Baal Pa'ar. That was the name of the Avodah Zarah. Now, one of the ideas of the Avodah Zarah is something I saw today. It's unbelievable to see the connection now. One of the things of this Avodah Zarah is that the idea behind it is to enjoy the gashmis, the physical pleasures, that's the means to an end. It's like a person taking a steak and eating it like this is the greatest thing in the world right now, and like nothing else. So it's a little not just a little bit animalistic. It's totally animalistic. Which is something we have to work on. We have to be aware of the challenge. So the Baal Pa'or represented this idea of taking these physical pleasures and making this the focal point. Okay, now let's take a pause for a second. There's a famous story with Eliyahu Navi. The Eliyahu Navi, at his time, there was a lot of people that were also serving the Avodah Zarah. And the famous quote, Eliyahu Navi tells the Jewish people, Ad Mosai atem poischem l'shnei asifim. How long are you going to go on both sides? If you're this side, you feel the idol worship is it, then go for it. If it's God, then God. But don't play both. It's the worst thing to play both sides. And there was a showdown. Eliyahu Navi built his Mizbeach on one side. The other false priests built their Mizbeach on the other side. And wherever the fire comes down, that's the truth. They hit somebody underneath, and whatever, he was going to light the fire from underneath. They had it all planned. It didn't work out. There was a snake came, killed them, whatever. Hashem worked it out. And everybody came to see that the fire came down by on the side of Eliyahu Navi, and everything worked out. And everybody saw that that's God. Now it's brought down, Mefarshim say, that before Mashiach comes, there's going to be a showdown like this, from both sides. The only difference is going to be that the fire is going to come down on the not right side. The fire is going to come down on the wrong side, and that's going to be part of the Nisayan. That's going to be part of the test. I'm thinking to myself, what does that mean? I always, whenever I read that, what does that mean? What does it mean? What do you mean the fire is going to come down? Where do we see that today? So maybe you could look back at this. This is the answer. Baal Pa'or. What's Baal Pa'or? That you indulge, and these people are successful. These people are successful today. And it looks like the fire came down on their side. This is life. This is life today. Enjoy yourself. Azevi, like there's no tomorrow. The fire is on that side today. This is I think it's an edel de kavart, but and you have to understand that there has to be, you have to have a clear description of what it means to be serving Hashem. Is that you have to be able to separate and elevate. More important, to elevate. You have to be able to know that you're serving Hashem. You can't allow the idea of Baal Pa'or to take us over, that the indulgence should become the center point of our lives. Hashem shall we should be inspired. We should be able to serve Hashem in a complete way. If a person needs a neder, then the idea of a neder, but we should not need a neder. We should be able to do it with love, with ava, with geschmackheit for the Eibishter, B'karav Mamish, with Mashiach, B'karav Mamish. Amen.